Well, hello and welcome to Let's Get Acquainted with Hillary Gooden. I'm glad to be here and I'm glad to be starting a new month for Let's Get Acquainted. The month of May happens to be the National Month of Recommitment. And so if you've made some goals January 1 and you kind of need a little kickstart so you can reset, this is the show for you. And my special guest today is Miss Valda Ford, and she is an amazing woman, and I know she has a lot to contribute to this. So I'm excited. So you get excited, invite someone, share the broadcast, tag a friend, then come on back in and let me know where you're coming in from in the comments below. I'll be glad to know. And to give you a little time to do that, I'm going to play a quick commercial. And on the other side of that commercial, we're going to go ahead and get started. So let me just cue it up. And I hope you had a wonderful day so far. Just be able to sit back and enjoy this conversation on tonight. But go ahead and share it out and tag a friend. Hi, busy women leaders. I'm talking to you. Are you juggling your family, your business, your career, and your health? Afraid that if just one ball drops to the ground, everything could fall apart because everybody's looking at you. You're stressed and overwhelmed. You're looking for answers, for help that's real help, for solutions. I have Vibrant Life Solutions that can help you. I am Hillary Gooden, the Vibrant Life Coach, author, speaker, lymphologist, and pastor. I empower busy women leaders with strategies to reduce stress and anxiety while increasing energy, clarity of mind, better sleep, better health, and vitality. Oh yeah, and boost your immunity. If you're ready for that, you say, I need that in my life right now. Let's connect. You can reach me at www.hillarygooden.com. You can direct message me on Facebook or LinkedIn at Hillary Gooden. Or else if you would like to get on a free 20-minute strategy call, a clarity call, go to bit.ly/Hillary Gooden. That's bit.ly/Hillary Gooden. I absolutely believe you got the power to help your body, help you live a more vibrant life. All right, so welcome back, and let me know where you're coming in from in the comments. That's the only way I'll be able to see it, and I sure would like to shout you out. I'm going to go ahead and bring my guest, Miss Valda Ford. Hi, welcome to my show tonight. How are you doing?
I am doing well, thank you. So glad to be here.
Wonderful. Again, I think I mentioned it to you on a call, but I have met so many people from North Carolina. And so again, folks, this is another person from North Carolina. We got to find out what they're drinking down there. What's going on down there? So today is not today, but it's the first show for May. And so for that, thank you for being my first guest for the month. And our topic and our theme for the month is the National Recommitment Month. And so we're going to be talking about this, myself and Miss Ford, Miss Valda Ford, about, it may have been that you started some goals or some, what's that word again? I don't know why I can't remember it, in January.
Yes, and now I have forgotten it. So you have some New Year's resolutions.
New Year's resolutions, and you've gotten sidetracked. You found yourself not doing those things that you started out really saying you were going to do for you or do for some reason. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Resetting and being recommitted to what really matters to you. And so again, I just want to put this up here, National Recommitment Month. And so the reason that it was started, I just want to say this, is so that it would challenge us, not just you, but us too, to evaluate important areas of our life and to refocus. So that is what we're going to be talking about. If we say something that interests you or you got your own take on it, put it in the comments. So we would love for you to be a part of the conversation. Okay, so do you mind reading that one? Can you see that okay?
Yes, no matter the commitments, health, education, family, financial, be mindful of the reasons behind them.
Does that
Commitments
mean
are
anything to you?
interesting, Commitments are interesting, as you said, whether they are the New Year's resolutions when we feel that we are bound and determined to start anew. Many times we just make too many. We
Yeah.
pick up 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 things instead of concentrating on one or two that we can succeed at.
Absolutely. And that's number two on our things that we were going to talk about, to make one or two goals at a time, to work on one or two goals. Like you said, they may make a long list, but to be successful in any of them, you want to be able to really put your efforts toward that one or two things, because when you put your efforts, you spread your efforts too thin, you're going to sidetrack yourself. What's some other feelings? You'll feel defeated, and just you might feel a whole host of things, and then that'll make you do what? Give up.
It make you quit. It will
Make
make you quit.
And I was listening to in a meetings. The guy was saying it's okay to quit. It's okay to quit one thing maybe, but to start something new, start something fresh, or to, start something else. You don't want to just quit and derail yourself, so to speak. Maybe you need to shift tracks. They have that switch. That maybe you find that track wasn't working, and so that's one of the other first things I believe that I had here, to list the goals that worked and eliminate the ones that did not work.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, what do you think? Sometimes we can hold on to something, trying to make it work for too long.
Well, I believe that we should live our lives like an experiment. And
Hmm.
that is, you have a hypothesis. I believe that if I do this thing, then this other thing will work. So decide that you're going to try it out for a certain number of days. Let's say 30, because at the beginning of the month, you can start it, or on the 5th or the 10th or whatever day, you can decide that for the next 30 days, you will do whatever it is. So let's say you plan to get up and walk. So every 30 days, get up and walk. And then at the end of 30 days, look back to see, were you able to do it? If yes, how? If no, why not? And then if it worked for you, which I know it will, continue. If you decided to be a marathon runner and you were going to start running 10 miles a day after getting off the couch, you probably will let that one go.
Exactly. You work your way up to it. Yeah, a little bit at a time. And I like that. That keeps in line with the thing, to evaluate and refocus after that 30 days. To give yourself I always tell people, challenge yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that 30 days is a good time to, because I really believe that you can try anything, and like you're saying, over a 30-day period, and be able to get some results. To know if this is what you need to do, continue to do or not. Yeah. So recommitment, when they talked about in your health. Now, I deal with health and wellness, and I know you're probably on the go, and you deal with speakers and different. Well, you're a registered nurse also, so health wise, we need to recommit. We have so much going on with a lot of different. How can I say? A lot of different issues that can be, that are within the person's power to help change and help to improve, if they would just commit to doing their best for their health. What do you have to say about that, as far as health, and from the aspect of being a nurse? And you've seen a lot more than I have.
The same thing is true with our health. No matter where we are at this moment, we should look at where we are. It's not where we have to be. So if you
Right.
are overweight, if you are a cigarette smoker, if you are someone who doesn't get up and move, then decide what it is that you want to do. I hope that every year I am in better shape than I was the last year. And so my goal is to gradually move from not moving to moving all the time, from not being active, like I go swimming, and I pay attention to my food. So I'm doing more whole food, plant based, which being a
Mhm.
southerner is not that easy to really put down the gravies, the fried food, all of those good things that mama used to make. The important thing is when you look at your health, first of all, know you and your health. Don't let people just say, oh, your blood pressure is a little high
Mhm.
or you're a little overweight. No, what are the numbers? So get the numbers in your head. Make sure you know what your blood pressure is and what the ideal is for you, your ideal weight for your lifestyle and what you're trying to do. And then just make small, purposeful, continuous commitments to be the best person you can be. And you can do it.
Yes. I like that you said uh be committed. We're talking about being recommitted to this is if it didn't work the last time, you always got another chance to start it again and tweak it here and there. And the thing that you said was to make those small changes, but to do it continue on a continuous basis, being consistent. Because when we're consistently inconsistent, it can just drag your whole mood down. To just feel people begin to beat up on themselves and speak words that are not life, speak words that just make them draw back even more to their old way. But I like that, just to be continuous and to just do it a little bit at a time so it don't seem so overwhelming. I've talked to so many people that have so many things wrong, and like you said, will just take on whatever somebody said to them. Oh, you just have this and just take this pill and that'll make it better. But there are so many ways that we can help our health that are easy, natural, and drug free, you
Well,
know, and just,
even if you have to take medication, though,
yeah. Hmm.
thing is that if you have to take medication, you should know what it is and recognize that things that you may take over the counter may have the same effect. So you may be doubling up on things.
Yeah.
But most importantly, to have an excellent relationship with your healthcare provider. And
Yeah.
hopefully, that person has an open mind about naturopathic ways as well as traditional medicine, because not everyone needs a pill.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's just making that change, drinking more water, eating more whole foods,
Yeah.
moving, jumping on that trampoline,
Yes. Yes.
getting your lymphatic system to work, making
Yes.
sure, especially hydration and sleep are the things we do least well. So you can be a lot healthier just if you prioritize that you will get 6 to 8 hours of sleep. You will drink 8 glasses of water a day, and you
Mhm.
will move around 8 minutes 8 times a day. How about that?
Yeah, and that's doable. The things that we're talking about are not hard to do. You have to find out what works for you and then do that. So when you're healthier, the healthier you makes for better relationships, like it was talking about relationships, makes for a person that can make, maybe better decisions, because your mind is more clear, you have more clarity in your mind when you're eating better and moving your body and the systems are all going and working together the way God intended. So take all of these tips and put them in your pocket so that you can make sure that you have these nuggets with you after the show, or you can always tune back in. Make sure that you're sharing it. Share this show with somebody else, somebody that needs to be recommitted and needs to know it's not that hard. It's really not that hard. We're going to go on to the next next talking point we have here, and it is did I hit it? Number three for tonight is bring in a team. Working with like-minded people helps to balance the effort. That depends on, I guess, what you're recommitting to. But even if you're recommitting to your health, or you're recommitting to just being a better you for your job or for your business, having a better sense of gratitude, all of these things are things that we have to commit to or else recommit to, especially if you started out the year with good intentions and here you are saying, oh, shoot, I haven't done that in about 4 months. It's
Well, the thing
always,
about yeah, the
yeah,
thing
go
about
ahead.
a team is regardless of what it is, say you decide that you're going to lose weight. Well, it's no one else's responsibility to put food in your mouth or keep you from putting food in your mouth. But if you make the people around you your team, if you're saying to them, I intend to do this, then they can be your accountability partner. At least they know what it is that you're planning to do.
Yeah,
You are starting to go to school because you want to get a degree or a certificate or some type of thing that will help you improve your life. Your team may be the other people in your house. It may be your children. It may be, hey, I am planning to get this certificate in culinary arts. I need for you to be quiet for these 2 hours a day while I'm
yeah,
online having class. So a
yeah,
team can be anyone in your circle who you let in on helping you make it work without them physically having to help, just
yeah,
supporting you in being there.
yeah. And sometimes if you don't have people in your circle, there are ways to still get support by joining maybe a group or something that may be local or maybe virtual that you can become a part of with like-minded people, because uh, just like I did a fast challenge. I hate to use the word challenge on some of those things, but a fasting, they were giving people information and the opportunity to do a fast. Sometimes people think, oh my God, you can't go without eating, the body will, I don't know what they think will happen. But sometimes if you can try it with some other people, not the ones that are telling you, oh no, you can't do that. You have to eat or else something's gonna happen. But just getting with some like-minded people. So if you don't have people in your circle, get you a circle, find you another circle to be a part
Yes.
of.
Yes.
Because I was looking, I've been meeting more people lately with Toastmasters. And I know you're a part of that organization, right?
Yes.
I forgot to ask you, where are you coming in from? Where are you? I already said it, right? North
Oh, you
Carolina.
said North Carolina. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm in Chicago, folks. I forgot to put that there. Let us know in the comments where you're coming in from. We really do want to know. Okay. Say a quick hello. Yeah, but it's so many, whether it's about your business or whether it's because you want to be better in anything pretty much these days, you can find other people that have that same goal in mind so that you can succeed. At the beginning of the year, I heard someone say, this is your year to find a way to win. What do you think about that statement? I love that.
Well, at any point in time, you should be finding your way to win. And you said something earlier about the win doesn't have to be small or whatever your goal. Just make it so that you're succeeding. So, what do you want to win? What is it that you want to change? Just decide what that is. Every year, you should set a goal to achieve something. And that goal can be to be kinder. It can be that you want to show the gratitude that you're still here every day when so many people have gone before, and you want to be the one to uplift others. So you set that goal. Every year, I decide I want to be in better health than I was the year before. and I make strides to do that. At one point, as a registered nurse, I injured my back and I was barely able to walk. I was threatened with back surgery and I was determined to do better. And now, if I choose, I can walk 7 miles. So,
Mm,
and it didn't happen all at once, but I made a decision. And each year, I think, what is it that I can do? And I've had to overcome many things, but what is your win for the year? Is it that you want to get better at actually cooking instead of eating out?
yeah,
That you want to be better at relationships? But you said it, and I think it is a good thing to sit down, evaluate where you are, if you accomplished what you wanted to. If you didn't, why not? If you did, what's next?
exactly, exactly. I love that. We have Laverne. She's in Chicago area. Thank you for coming on tonight. We appreciate you. We don't know what do you feel about anything that we've said so far. You can let us know. Are you finding yourself having to refocus? This is a good time to do it. It's like we're almost to the halfway of 2022. My goodness, we're almost halfway there. So now is a good time to refocus and to evaluate and to still finish strong this year. It's great time. It's enough time to do that. You want to say now is always the time when you need to make some positive change for yourself in any kind of way. Number four, we kind of went over that. We're talking about the family. Could you mind reading that one?
Sure. When the goal is a family oriented target, the whole family benefits. And that is certainly true. Certainly
Mm-hmm.
true.
Yeah, and when you're talking about health things, it's good to start when you can start. If you have children, if you can, the earlier you can start them having an appreciation or making it normal to eat vegetables and fresh fruits, you know, the farther that's going to take them in their lives. I don't have
Gotcha.
any children, but I believe that they need to learn it early, before they get a taste of all that sugar and sugary things. I
Well, the
don't
thing
know.
that a lot of parents, a lot of new mothers, a lot of new parenting individuals don't understand is that babies don't have a desire for sweet or salty or fatty. That's us. So we
Mm,
are the role models that are setting the stage. Also, kids many times won't eat because they just won't. And if you get them into the habit of enjoying food, making colorful shapes out of their carrots or
yeah.
making pancakes that have blueberries on them or bananas, then they'll think that's something good. But if we are taking care of ourselves, then we can impose that on our family to a point. We can
Mhm.
get our kids to put their cellular devices down, and we have at
Oh,
least 30 minutes a day that we talk to each other.
yeah. I was listening to a lady today, and she was talking about with her son. Her child is a young child, like 2 or 3 years old. And she said she has a little bag, like a little drawstring bag, and she
Mhm.
takes her phone and she puts it in there, close that drawstring, and put it aside to be present. Because that's something we all need to, because of our devices. My other devices right here, right? we are distracted for just too much, and when we're in conversations, sometimes if you ever been in a conversation with somebody who wasn't really there.
Oh,
What do
yeah.
you do when you're in conversation, when you with somebody like that? Do you say something, or do you just suffer through it?
It depends on how much I care on that particular moment. I think that half listening is one of the worst and most destructive things that you can do. If it's someone that I am talking to and they are distracted because they're on their phone or looking at something else or looking at the TV in the background, depending on what we're trying to accomplish, I just let them go at it. Then I know that I won't spend my time the next time trying to get their attention. But
Yeah,
if it's in a health situation, like Laverne is saying, she wants to make her health better,
yeah,
I'm imagining that because she wants to do that, she would be fully invested. And if I was sitting with her as a coach or a registered nurse to patient, I would say, okay, for the next 20 minutes, let's concentrate on this and let's commit to that. Once
Yeah.
again, committing to or recommitting to that relationship, whether it's healthcare provider, coach, counselor, friend to friend, we
Yeah.
should just focus on ourselves. So I let it go if necessary. I don't spend too much energy on it. But
Yeah. Like you
if
say,
they
when it like you said, when it matters, you say something. Like, could you just
Mhm.
please put the phone that step away from the device?
Yes,
Step
yes,
away from the device. Yeah. And so Laverne also says she's working on getting rest and enough sleep, you know. And again, it could be distractions, or it could be some of the other things, just not having dealing with the lymphatic system. When you activate your lymphatic system before you go to bed, I have found that you have really good sleep. And that's one thing that Laverne had mentioned to me, and I was glad to hear that because she has rebounded. Said, man, I start rebounding, doing a little bouncing before I go to sleep, and that helps me. But then if you get away from it, it doesn't work. Just like having a, what do you call that, a treadmill, and if it's now have clothes hanging on it,
yeah. It's an
okay,
expensive clothes hanger. Yeah, done that
it's
before.
not that it
Still
doesn't
count.
work, right?
Mhm.
We have to be we sometimes we have to recommit to things. And so thank you, Laverne, for jumping in with this with us. So that was pretty much what I had to talk about for about recommitting, and what we'll be discussing with my different guests this month. And so now in the second half of this broadcast, we're going to get acquainted with Valda Ford. And she's going to tell us about who she is, what's something that lights her up, and then, maybe what she's working on right now. And I would love to know, because I love getting acquainted with people, not just from North Carolina, but from everywhere. So are you ready? I'm going to give you the floor for a couple of minutes, and then I'll jump back in.
All right.
All right.
Absolutely. I'm
All right.
ready. And thank you so much.
You're
Mhm. I'm Valda Ford. I'm a registered nurse and a public health expert. I am one of many children born in the southern United States where I had a family that was dedicated to making sure that no matter what society told us, we knew that we had the ability to do whatever it is that we wanted to. Might take more time, more energy, and a lot more hard work. But ultimately, we are the ones in control of our lives. As I grew up at a time of segregation. There are a lot of people who think, oh my God, that was a long time ago. But no, it wasn't all that long ago in the United States. And I was told all the things that I could not do. When it was time for me to go to college, my high school counselors told me, don't bother. And I didn't. I got married early, and that didn't work as well as it could have. And probably if I would have waited to be older and a whole lot smarter. But ultimately, I went to school to be a registered nurse, and that opened up the world for me. When I was then a single parent working really hard trying to pay off my student loans, I was given the opportunity to go to work in Saudi Arabia. And at first I thought, no, I'm not going to work in Saudi Arabia. What's wrong with you? I haven't even been to South Carolina yet. But I was fortunate. I had a sister who was willing to rise to the challenge to help me out, to allow me to get that financial monkey off my back. And I also was going to save enough money so that I'd be able to come back to go to anesthesia school so that I would have the opportunity to have an even better life. When I went to work in Saudi Arabia, I worked with people from 32 different countries and I loved it. There were people who thought that I would just be suffering through it, but no. I learned that learning about and being with people from different countries, other cultures, religions. That was exactly what I wanted in my life. So when I came back to North Carolina, back to my job, I realized that anesthesia school was no longer the thing for me because I would have to be still to watch people sleep and make sure that they were fine during surgery. Instead, I had the wanderlust that became a part of my life. And fortunately, because of that, I've had the opportunity to work in 57 countries on 6 continents. I have worked with people who are in refugee camps. I've worked with CEOs of Fortune 100 and 500 companies. I've had a chance to work with all sorts of people. So my life has been just such a joy and so much more than what I was told I could have. You're still on mute.
Okay. I was just saying, wow, wow. That's really, I'm glad that you shared that, you know. Uh, yeah, other than that, I wouldn't have known. So I'm glad to hear that. You know, just like you said, you had that wanderlust and it just led you to so many different places. I was reading in your bio that you had the opportunity to do some philanthropy type work. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. When I came back from working in Saudi and some other places, many people would ask me to be the person to help them understand why people from a certain place might act a certain way, or things might be feeling different for the people who were born here, and wonder why others would do it. And sometimes I just have to say, well, I don't know. I don't know those people, that culture. But ultimately, it evolved into a profession for me. And I had become the director of community and multicultural affairs for the University of Nebraska Medical Center
Mm.
when we had a large influx of people from the southern Sudan to come to Omaha. And at that point in time, and probably still now, it was a place with the largest influx of people from that area in the world outside of the southern Sudan. We had 10,000 people from the Sudan there at that point in time. And so I was asked the question, why are they acting like that? And the people from the southern Sudan would say, why are the doctors treating us like that?
Yeah.
And I thought I couldn't say. And I wanted to understand because they were coming from refugee situations. And so I decided to go work in refugee camps in
Wow.
order to get the experience. So I did my first time, I did 12 weeks in a camp in Ghana called Budaburum, where there were 75,000 refugees, mainly from the Liberian War. And
Mm.
that started me off. I developed some sustainable health programs, later was funded by the US Agency for International Development to replicate those programs in Sierra Leone and Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka following the tsunami of 2004.
Mm, yeah.
That began my work working in refugee camps, developing sustainable programs for health and developing healthcare educators or providers for the long term.
Wow. Such a fascinating life. I love that. When you were talking about the Sudans, the people from Sudan. I remember a movie that was made about some brothers that had come, and I believe it was to Oklahoma area there. I'm not sure, but they followed their journey from going into the refugee camp, and then the time they spent, and then coming to America and being uh, taken in. Not really, they weren't taken in by a family, but they helped set them up in their own apartment and get jobs and all of that. And it was very interesting. I remember that. Yeah. I just love that. So, what are you doing now?
Well, I have been involved in various parts of the speaking business for about 25 years. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I first started a business in the 90s. high-tech home health care. As a registered nurse, I was taking care of people in their homes on ventilators, people who had HIV, and people who needed blood and other support. And that evolved into other things. And then I developed the Center for Human Diversity, which is a nonprofit organization dedicated to decreasing disparities and increasing communications across and between groups. So sometimes I do diversity training, but my passion project is that I am trying to make sure that people understand that infant mortality and maternal mortality are big problems in the United States. And even being such a major economy, we have some of the worst outcomes for our babies. We have more babies dying in the first year of life than
Mm-hmm.
35 other industrialized nations. And we
Wow.
have more women dying before their babies become 1 year old than any other industrialized nation in the world.
And with all the health care that we have, I wonder why are the women dying within that? Are there some? Do you see some trends in that um,
Yeah, there are
with the
many
women?
reasons. There are many reasons why. Partly our healthcare system is broken. As you know, it's not a healthcare system, it's a sick care system.
Sick care
And
system.
our
Yeah.
goal is really to take care of people who are sick, not to keep people well. And
Mm.
unfortunately, a lot that happens in the maternal mortality side is that either women are not taught what they need to know in order to be safe, and that is one, to prepare to get pregnant so that your
Yeah.
body's in the best possible shape. Some women will say, oh, when I get pregnant, I'll stop smoking. No, don't
Mm.
smoke and then get pregnant. So the other thing is, during and after childbirth, sometimes our healthcare system,
Mm.
our sick care system, again, is really pushing women out of the hospital right away. And one of the
Right.
major causes of death is hemorrhage. And a woman may
Oh.
not recognize that she is bleeding too much, because after you deliver, you're going to be bleeding. But
Right.
if you don't know, and there's no nurse or doctor to tell you that is too much bleeding, then you may get in trouble, and you might not. Hemorrhage can be something, if it's dramatic, you'll know it.
Mhm.
But if you're
Yeah.
just bleeding a lot for a long time, you just might feel weak, and you think, oh, I feel weak because I'm tired because I had a baby, and you
Yeah.
don't get time. Other
Wow.
things, sometimes just racial issues, communications issues, people who are tired, whether it's the mother or the healthcare provider, they're tired, they're overworked, they miss things. But most importantly, I think we could educate each other better and be better
Yeah.
support systems.
Yeah. So they need to be recommitted to that.
They
You
absolutely
know,
need to be
the sick
recommitted. And the people
hmm
in the healthcare system need to recommit to the idea that the people who come to them are very vulnerable, even when they might be disagreeable, disgusting, whatever the case,
Yeah.
that they are vulnerable. And we have to keep our hat on to help the most vulnerable.
Yeah. It brings to mind, I was listening to a doctor. At first, I heard this statement or I read it. You know, I just read all the time. It's so much, I'm just ever learning. But then I heard a doctor, someone interviewing a doctor about the time that they have to be with patients. And he was the first thing that I read was talking about they have 4 minutes. He said, we have 3 minutes. So I was like, that's just not any time. And he was talking out of his frustration,
Hmm.
of that fact that they don't have enough time. They know they don't have enough time, and this is just seeing patients that's coming and going, let alone those that are, I'm not sure what it is in the hospital. Those are in the hospital that are getting released too soon because you got to keep like a revolving door kind of thing going on. So yeah, our sick care system really needs to recommit to people's humanity. I think sometimes I think that has become a real issue.
Yeah, it's a real issue. Unfortunately, somewhere along the line, we let the insurance companies determine what they were going to pay for, and then all care is guided by that. So, if
Yeah.
a hospital in a capitated system, so say if you're in a system where your insurance company says that the average person who has, say, a mastectomy needs to be in the hospital 24 hours, and then they decide that you're having a mastectomy and you can go home in 24 hours. Well, say the insurance company has determined that if the average is, say, 2 days, if the hospital keeps them in for 2 days, they pay them for 2 days. If they keep
Right.
them around for one day, they still pay them the same as if they were for 2 days. If they're there for
Mm.
5 days without justification, the hospital loses money because the insurance company says, no, I'm not paying for more than 2 days. So
Okay.
part of it is our system, and we need to really get to lobbying about that. But it seems like we're so overwhelmed with everything else all the time, we can't
Yeah.
talk about that. But there is
Yeah.
something uh, coming through now in the Senate called the Momnibus Act. So if you hear anything about the Momnibus Act, it is to make sure that mothers can stay longer, get more care, get more education, so that we can
Okay.
stop losing our mothers and babies.
Yeah, but that's just ridiculous. Here in America, you wouldn't think, you know, I haven't heard the talk of what you're saying. And
Mm.
so yeah, makes you not aware. But for those that are listening or listening on the replay, just know that that's something that those that you that pray, this is something that we could be praying about, and just praying that this omnibus bill or whatever that is, that it goes through, that it is approved to go through. So yeah, um, I don't know. This is just I'm thankful. You're living such a full life, and like you said, you want to be healthy all the way through it. And I love that because that's where I feel. You got the power to help your body, help you to have better health, so you can have a more vibrant life, doing the things you love to do. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's super important that we take care of ourselves so we can do all the things we want to do.
yes, exactly. That's the way I feel, and that's the horn I've been tooting from the prospect of being a vibrant life coach and all the different things of being a pastor and knowing about the Lord and just working that stuff all together. I absolutely know there are things that you can do that are easy, natural, and drug free. You know, and sometimes it don't cost you anything else, like you said, to go outside, take a walk in the get some fresh air, get some sunshine. I was listening to them talking about vitamin D, that a lot of people have been over taking too much supplements of vitamin D, and that's causing issues across the country, from what I was listening to today. And I was like, well, we got to get this thing worked out. We got to get it worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm thankful that for you being on here today and for sharing with us, your what you've done and your journey and what you're working on now. I think is really something, because I haven't heard anybody talking about this.
Well,
So
the thing is, we've been talking about it. The March of Dimes talks about it. The Healthy Start organization talks about it, and many organizations talk about it. But unfortunately, we have not gotten the kind of backing like breast cancer did. Or,
mm,
however, when Serena Williams was having her baby, she nearly died,
yeah, I
and
remember.
so she's spoken up and she's becoming a champion, but we need more people, because ultimately, whether or not we're having children, there are children in our lives, because if we don't have children, there'll be no more of us in the whole society. But because it doesn't seem like it's happening to me. I mean, there's
Mm,
700 women a year who die in that first year. I mean, that is a lot.
and that's too many. Yes,
That's a lot,
I
because you're
agree.
looking especially at young women, mainly 20 to 35, who are dying.
Mm,
And so the more we know about it, the more we talk about it, the more we are advocates for those people in our lives, then the stronger our society is.
Yes,
because every time we
absolutely.
lose a mother, that's a child who becomes an orphan.
Exactly. Exactly. Whew. It just made me think about how God puts people in place, and He put this thing in you, on you, and you willingly taking it on and say, "Okay, I got this. Just show me what you want me to do. Show me how to get to it. Cause my voice to be heard." So I'm just glad that you were able to share it even on this platform, and that we had this time to get acquainted. I love that.
It's my
And so
pleasure.
maybe we'll be able to do some other things down the road. Who knows? So, do you have a final nugget that you would like to share, that you would like to leave with those that are here to broadcast, that are listening?
Yes, thank you. I would like for everyone to know that we can be our best selves if we take the time to commit to ourselves. Take the time to do some deep cleansing breaths, 5 minutes a day, at the beginning of your day and at the end of the day. Get up and move around. Get 30 minutes of activity in every day. Drink lots of water. Get good sleep. Remove bad things and bad people from your life. Bring in those people who lift you up and bring you joy. And remember that you should be appreciative of all the things we have going on. If you incorporate these things into your life every day, it makes you a more vibrant, energetic, and loving person. And guess what? You will pass that on to the people around you who can then be more energetic, vibrant, and loving to those around them.
I love I love that. When our life is like has a ripple effect on other people. And sometimes it's happening, that ripple effect happens on people who you don't know that it's happening. They're watching your life. They're inspired by you. They say, "Man, I wish I could be like her, but maybe one day." So yeah, just be that ripple that's having a positive effect on those around you, whether you know them or not. And Laverne says, "Great advice. Thank you." And yeah, so that's really good. I'm going to give my last nugget, and my last nugget to everyone is: listen, you got the power to help your body, help you to have better health and a more vibrant life. Reevaluate where you are right now. And if you need to do some switches, you need to switch tracks on some things, you need to reevaluate and refocus. You need to start again. Don't beat yourself up. Just do it. Do it for your health's sake. Do it for your family's sake. Because when your health is better and you become that more vibrant person, it's going to affect those around you. It's going to affect those relationships around you. So it starts with you, and you absolutely got the power to be that change that you seek and that you know you need. It starts with you. And so thank you. I want to thank you for being here today. I want to thank my guests, uh, Ms. Valda. I thank you so much for coming on today and for sharing of your wisdom and sharing your story and your nuggets. You left a lot of nuggets tonight, and I love that. And so I want to thank you again for coming on. Let's Get Acquainted with Hillary Gooden. And we're going to close out tonight. And just know we're here every Thursday. I'm here every Thursday, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. And again, this month is the National Recommitment month of recommitment. Either way you want to put it, it's time to refocus and recommit to you and to your health. And you are so welcome. Laverne Roberts, great info. Thanks also. We appreciate you. And for those watching on the replay, thank you so much. Be sure to share this out, tag a friend so that they can be uplifted as well. Good night. Good night, Miss Valda.
Good night. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.